Hey everybody, Bob Chickarell along with Sean Ray. We're back for another exciting edition of Monday Night Muscle and a very exciting guest in two-time Olympia champion, BREON ANSLEY. What's up, BREON?
Hey, what's up, guys? Man, so good to be on finally. And the two-time sounds great. I would like to add one on to that slot right there.
Yeah, man, you don't look like you're a happy loser. And I'm going to jump right back to it, because when we saw you leave the stage last year, you were just as surprised as your trainer that you were working with at the time, Chris Cormier, and a lot of other people. While we did hear the applause for Chris Bumstead walking away with his first title back to Canada, we also heard the smattering of boos in the sense that people have gotten used to you walking away and hearing your name. And they expected you as the three-time Classic Physique winner, and that didn't happen. So what did happen in your mind? I mean, was this a contest that you lost? Is this a contest you got beat? Or is this a contest that you're still trying to figure out why you don't have the title?
Well, not taking anything away from Chris. He's the champion right now, and, he was crowned it, and that's what it is. But I most definitely felt my physique was superior, and I did enough to win that championship again last year for the third time.
So BREON, we're told it was very close. I think it was a 1-point decision when it came down and the smoke cleared, that going to Chris. We have a theory that it's the mustache that actually won it for Chris. That actually looked more classic, and that's why he won.
No, I think the judges, the subjectivity of judging is that they thought that he beat me in 3 poses to my 2. And
okay.
That's what the majority decision went with, and that's why he came away with the gold medal. So no mustache, no high flat kid and play flat top.
Kid and play.
Was going to change anything like that.
We got this thing.
But I was very, very, very disappointed, because I thought that like I said, my physique was superior. I had a lot more refinement. I had a lot more muscularity everywhere and completeness everywhere. Maybe the Classic Physique is just maybe judged a little bit different, and maybe you actually don't have to knock out the champ to.
You can psychoanalyze losing to the 9th degree, and you're never going to have the answer, because this is a subjective sport of opinion, and when you take the opinions collectively, they don't always fit in the square peg. Sometimes there's various variables that you're never going to be able to pin down. I know what it's like getting second place. I sympathize with Flex Wheeler, who was second 3 times, and Kevin Levrone was second 4 times, and Jay Cutler was second 6 times before he won 4 Olympias. It's not an unfamiliar place to be one of the last men standing in your economy. You've been there literally 3 consecutive years, and your first time out, I believe you were 4th place to Danny Hester winning that title. Moving into this year, we had not too long ago on the show, Logan Franklin. And he's one of the newest guys to throw his hat into the mix at 6 foot tall, moving in from the Physique division into the Classic, which is, we kind of calculated that it might be a double-edged sword, because you're at this point coming off this first runner-up where you feel like there's really nothing more you could have done. You lost because of opinion, not because of your physique, not because of your prep, and not because of your look. And then they're going to be bringing in this X factor who's very similar to Chris Bumstead. Does that change your approach to this competition prep? Is there anything else you're going to do differently, since what you did a year ago didn't pan out for you?
We'll be talking about Chris, and Chris, for rightfully so, because he's the champion. But Logan, I don't really understand. He has a great physique, and he won the New York Pro, so much respect, to that and him in taking care of business and winning that one. But like I said, there's many 6 footers, 6 1 or 6 foot 2ers that throughout the last 5 years that Classic has been in the 4 years that Classic has been in the mix, that haven't done well, and that haven't got that kind of spotlight like that to kind of defend the narrative that it's moving in a different direction. It's moving in a more taller direction. It's moving in a more so of a structural direction like that.
I understand what you're saying in terms of a 6-footer doesn't guarantee that that's what they're going to be looking for come this year. And it can be all over the map, and it is a matter of opinion. And again, sometimes you're only as good as the guys you stand next to, and
right.
Logan has not stood on a stage next to you with 2 of those titles, and of course next to Chris Bumstead. So when that time comes, and the only thing that you can control is what it is that you're going to do, Bob and I are curious,
Yes.
What are you going to do? Are you going to do more of the same of what you've been doing and hope that this will be the year?
Yeah, well, I've made some changes to some areas this time around. We're not going to just be there around the weight limit and scraping until the last minute, doing cardio two days out, 1 day out, having these cortisol levels raised super high. We're going to be around the weight limit, 2 weeks out, most definitely, to where we could just coast in. And that's going to allow us to even maybe eat into the weigh-ins, into the pre-judging. And that's going to be a whole different look on top of the, 3 to 6 pounds of more lean muscle that I put on. So far as me being a lot more calm, cool, and collective with making the weight, as well as just refinement, which I'm already known for, but I expect to be that for that to be polished even more.
Now, BREON, take me through the mindset that you have currently between defending the title and now chasing it again. Is it different?
Yeah. Yes, it most definitely is, and my hunger level is kind of takes me back to 2016 when I first did my first classic show. And when I first won the Prestige Crystal Cup in Boca Raton, it takes me back to the hunger of wanting to just win and wanting to just make a splash.
In the absence of winning that title a year ago, and in the presence of our current situation with COVID-19, your economy has changed a lot, I imagine, in terms of touring the world and making those appearances and doing your thing on the road and having that liberty to make that extra cash. It's a business, and now you get the lockdown this year. How have you been coping with your situation in terms of not really, you're not the champ walking around with the title? I mean, did it change your lifestyle at all in terms of losing that title, and you have this hunger to get it back?
When I first won it, in 2017 and 18, I was touring all over the world, going everywhere. And I mean, it even changed for Chris. I don't know if he's been touring too much and making the appearances and going anywhere. I mean, nobody could.
Yeah.
So that's really the only thing that changed. All the traveling and all the representing of the sport and representing being the ambassador as the classic champ. But like I said, since I was second place last year, and I'm now coming from a different position, mentally for sure, I was okay with it, and I just was hungry to get back to work, and I was just hungry to get back into the dungeon, make the improvements, and I'm so glad now that we're going to have an Olympia. This is going to happen. At what capacity? I hope it can be kind of a capacity, with the experience of the fans, and that will, also be great for the athletes as well.
Well, Sean, the men's Olympia, the title, Mr. Olympia, is getting a lot of play, as it should. Of course, it's to Mr. Olympia, but it's getting most of that play because there's 3 Olympians that will be in the show and Flex Lewis.
Right.
I will point out there's going to be 3 Olympians in the classic division with Danny Hester, BREON, and Chris Bumstead. So we've got our own competition here with 3 Olympia champions on stage at the same time, along with the men, along with the Fitness Olympia. Bikini, I believe, has got a couple of champs in there. So every division seems packed up this year for probably the most exciting Olympia in years when it comes to actual Olympia champions competing against each other.
And the return of the Miss Olympia bodybuilding, which is a vacant title, and Iris Kyle trying to come back to make history with number 11. That being said, Bob and I were tossing around this idea. You are a 212 bodybuilder, and you're also a classic physique bodybuilder. In classic physique, like in the open pro bodybuilding, you're up against guys that are 6 feet tall, 5'5", and you're right in the sweet spot. Having those 2 titles, clearly you are an example of what a classic physique Olympian should look like. But the greater challenge is that Bob and I were kicking around. We had Logan Franklin on. We were talking about history. You can be remembered for winning the title, which you've already done. You've been there and you've done that. trying to recapture it, that's history. But what happens then? Should you recapture the title for a third time? Do you do a James Flex Lewis and move up a division? He's moving from the 212 to the open. You've got, assuming you win this year and you vanquish Chris Bumstead and shut up all the haters, do you move into something like 212? Where does your next challenge come from? Are you trying to be that guy that's the classic physique champion 4 or 5 times over? What's the end game for you, BREON?
Well, I think this game is about challenges, and it's about meeting new challenges, and it's about embarking on new challenges. So I will definitely entertain the move to the 212. Either way it goes. Either way it goes. Now, if whether I lose or whether I'm able to reclaim the title, because I think that's just a new challenge.
So, BREON, let me ask you this. Recently, we interviewed Flex Lewis. He's obviously making the jump to the Men's Open, the Mr. Olympia. He said, even though he had to get down to 212 to make the cutoff, he thought his best weight was around 220-ish. Mm-hmm. In your scenario, what's your cutoff? What weight do you have to make at your height?
At 180 pounds, I have to come out down
180. So what do you feel now as you're coming down? Where do you feel like I could step on stage like this? Is it at 190? Is it at 195 or 200?
I'm good at about, I think I'm ready to go at about 190, 191, 192.
No.
Looking ready to go, looking full as ever, crisp as ever, refined as ever, and ready to rock right now. So that would be about, another 17, 18 pounds from where I'm at now.
And that weight that you're mentioning, 190, 191, that's Lee Labrada, Muhammad McAway, Frank Zane style. I mean, Chris Dickerson was 189 pounds at Mr. Olympia.
Yeah. Keep in mind, most of the guys at the 212 are not at the top of the list.
Right.
Most of them, like Sean Clarita, our modern-day giant killer, I mean, he's gone up tremendously over the years, but he's nowhere near the cutoff.
Yeah.
But most of the guys aren't. I think BREON would be right in the mix at 191-ish and a very formidable competitor for the title of 212 champ. Does that get your juices flowing, BREON, to think I could be one of the first guys in history to capture 2 Olympia titles in 2 different divisions?
Yes, that gets my Kool-Aid flowing for sure. That gets my Kool-Aid flowing for sure to think about that and to think about how much of a legacy that would leave, and just to take that journey and to see if we can actually make it happen. So it does most definitely get my juices flowing, and to think that I can hang with. I think that I can hold my own in the 191, 2-3-ish pound where I'm at that poundage for even the 212 division.
Well, Sean, unless I'm mistaken, I don't think any male bodybuilder in any division has won 2 different divisions, unless Flex Lewis does it this coming year.
He'll have the first opportunity to do it, but again, we have people changing divisions, but nobody that's changing divisions with titles.
Right.
So Flex has an opportunity to make history, but he's got to go through 3 other Mr. Olympia winners to do it. It's going to be a tougher road to hoe for him, but right now, just recapturing the title that was lost, that's history in and of itself, because we've only seen, again, Jay Cutler do that to my recollection.
That's it.
So that should be motivation. What is a typical day like for you, though? You do the classic physique stuff. Are you a personal trainer? What do you do to fill your day?
I do online. I have ebooks online, so I don't do in-person training. So that's the only kind of training, and those are the only kind of programs that I have available on my behalf and with my name and with my brand on it at all right now. It's just ebooks through my on my website. So a typical day is just all about me pretty much right now. It revolves around making the meals, and revolves around eating the meals and training, posing, stretching, deep tissue rapid release recovery, and cryotherapy recovery, and rest is what it all looks like.
Are you sponsored by Trifecta? I noticed the logo on your shirt is the meal prep company.
I am, yeah.
Oh, good.
Trifecta is the meal prep company that sponsors me, who's the most gracious sponsor for the Olympia. Definitely appreciate them, and I'm grateful for them. And And they're wonderful. They're wonderful. They sponsored out.
So, BREON, what specific changes do you think you need to make to beat Bumstead and get the title back? What physical changes do you think you have to make?
Oh, that's a good one, Bob. That's a good one.
So I get the big
that's
buck,
a good
buddy.
Question. Oh man, Bob, do you get extra money in the pocket for that question?
If I get enough good ones, I get to get my own bobblehead. Sean's got one, but I got nothing so far. Let me see that thing. Look at
He's going to get one of these.
Look at you win the title back, you get one of these.
He gets the Sandow. The Shondown.
Right?
There it is.
The Shondown.
Okay.
See that?
All right.
So
all right.
give me some specifics. So the fans
Shondown.
want to know, what do you have, because everybody always, they skirt this. You lost the title last year, okay? Now, you weren't out of shape, obviously. You were second place and you lost by a point. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
But clearly there's something in your mind that you think, you know what? I'm going to target these 3 things and I'm going to get that title. What are they?
Width in the lats, width in the quads, and those are the main 2 things. Width in the lats, width in the quads. Come in with the same refinement and the same conditioning, and pose different because Chris is he's a taller competitor. He's a taller, bigger structure. So I'm going to pose. I'm going to have to pose bigger. I'm going to have to pose more demonstrative, and then I'm sure that we can take care of business and reclaim the title when because of the width has improved. We've worked hard to do that, and then now the posing comes into play, and I think that's going to be the formula.
Are you working with anyone this year? I know you've kind of dabbled with some other people here and there. Are you going it solo, or how are you doing it?
Working with still Chris Cormier and Brandon Gertis.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, still Chris Cormier, Brandon Gertis. That's the team that's always been. And
Best of luck along the way. Stay healthy, my friend. Get that title back. Sean, look for a improved, wider, with more sweep BREON ANSLEY looking to make history at the Olympia.
absolutely, guys. See you in Vegas. Can't wait.
All right. Thanks, BREON.
Yeah.
All right, Sean. Well, history will be made on the Olympia stage. BREON ANSLEY, one of the greats, 2-time Olympia champion. Can he make it 3?
Absolutely. And, he is a study of consistency. So we know what we're going to get when he shows up in Las Vegas. He didn't lose the contest because he was off. He lost the contest because the judges decided to go another direction. There's a big difference. Jay Cutler, a lot of people felt, was beaten by Dexter Jackson in 2008 because he lost the contest. And of course, you got the Dexter Jackson fans saying he beat Jay. At the end of the day, it only matters that one person is the winner. And he sounds like he's got a firm grasp on losing, because there's a lot of sore losers out there, and they can go either direction when they lose a competition. But he sounds like he's gone back to the drawing board. He seems like he's only got a couple of small things. You asked him, what do I need to work on? The quad width and the back width. So he knows what he's doing in the offseason, and we'll probably see those changes. Will they be enough? That's the beauty of the contest. We're not going to know because anybody can show up on or off.
Well, he's doing the smart thing. This is a smart guy, okay? He's got bigger guys around him, as he pointed out. Now, he's beating some of those guys, but they're catching up, okay? There's more people like Chris Bumstead today than there are BREON ANSLEY. It's shifting. What he recognizes, he can't get any taller, but he can get wider. He can present himself bigger. And that's exactly what he was saying is, I need to project more. I need to get wider. I need to present larger than I actually am. This is smart play. But there is a difference, as you mentioned, between losing a contest and winning a contest in the context.
Right.
Jay Cutler lost the contest more than Dexter won it. Even Dexter was first to admit that. BREON ANSLEY did not lose the contest. Chris Bumstead won it. I think there's a difference there.
Yeah, well, you know what? This contest has been around 5 years, and we had 3 champions. I predicted that this was going to be a contest that every year there's going to be a different champion. Just the way I thought about bikini. How wrong was I when it comes to bikini? But I'll stick to what I know. In the men's classic physique, it's so deep, so talented and versatile that you could have a different champion every year. So for him to win it twice and be a first runner-ups in 3 Olympia championships out of 4, BREON right now is doing the business of bodybuilding. And I got to tell you, he's in the conversation when we start talking about the top 2. Forget about the top 3. He's there in the top 2 again going into this show. It's going to be up to the judges to decide what they're going to do with the look of classic physique. Should BREON win his 3rd Olympia? I don't think a lot of us will be surprised because he has the goods. If he loses it, he already sounds like he loves a challenge, and the 212 is a ripe division for him to move
Yeah,
towards.
listen, you don't have to read between the lines too much here. He's gone after this year.
Yeah, he's a bodybuilder.
He's a bodybuilder. You're exactly right. And I think our advices are the right ones, of course. This guy could be an immediate contender in the 212 division in the low 190s. Again,
No question.
that's not a small 212. That's about normal. Most of the guys, again, when we've seen the weigh-ins, okay, all that speculation before, like when some of those old guys were around, like Kevin English and David Henry and that crew.
Right.
Most of those guys, when we did the weigh-in, because we added the weigh-in because of all these stories.
Yeah.
That Kevin English was
Lying
coming
about
in,
their weight.
he was going to be 230 by the time we get it. Listen.
Hogwash.
None of that pan true. We did the weigh-in on stage in front of all the fans, and almost nobody was at the top of the key. Matter of
I
fact, Kevin
understand.
English, I think, if I'm not mistaken, was about 190.
And he won 3 times. the 212.
Yeah, and he won 3 times. So you can only put so much into that. The one thing is for sure, which is he is gone, bro.
Yeah.
He is out after this year. If he, listen, two good scenarios. He wins the title, he retires as the champ in that division,
Right.
onto the 212. He loses the title, which is a clear-cut sign. Look at it's
Time to go.
it's moved on, time to go anyway. So I think he's in a good spot.
Either way, this year's Olympia lineup on all divisions is going to be very interesting with all the comebacks from all the champions and all the athletes coming in with new, young, fresh blood. So let's check that out. Get your tickets at MrOlympia.com. Check us out at the Zappos Theater this December. For Bob Chick, I'm Sean Ray. Monday Night Muscle.